if you make those simple bullet point slides, I want to show you how to make them a bit more interesting by editing the bullets itself and adding some animation that when you go to the next point, the previous point is dimming a little bit. Now watch what can you do with your bullet point list and how can you properly animate it. I have a new slide and let me quickly create a bullet point list. I list them to the left side. Let's say this is my list and I want to make it more interesting. At first, I copy the title to have something on my slide. Alright, now I can go to the bullet list. I'll have 2 tiers of bullet points. So I press tab here, and tab here. Now I can start editing it. I select the first 3 lines, 1, 2, and 3, like this. Then I go to my bullet points and I go bullets and numbering. On the bottom side, I have my size and my color. You can also add a picture to use something completely custom, but I will stay with the bullet points. But I will make them a bit more interesting. At first, I'll use my 2 colors, the light blue one and the dark blue one. Maybe the bigger ones will have the darker blue and they will have about 160% of scale. The smaller ones will have the lighter blue color. So I once again go to the bullet points, bullet and numbering. I select my color and I select the light blue and maybe make it 130%. Alright, so now it looks a tiny bit more interesting. I still should adjust the spacing between them. So you can adjust the spacing either by pressing enter, or you select the entire text or the box, go to the home tab, and on the home tab you have the spacing options. Once you hit the spacing, you can make it, for example, 1.5 or 2.0, or go to line spacing and make it a custom amount. I'll go with 1.5. This looks really okay. Now, it was meant to be a simple bullet point list, but what else adjustments could I do? Animations are really important when it comes to bullet points. Go to animation and select a simple animation like fade or wipe, for example. I'll select fade. Normally, they would fade one after another. I go to animation pane and you see I have an animation which is cumulated of 3 animations. The first, the second and the third when each subsequent point is appearing. I want to change this a little bit because when I'm talking about the second point, I want the first point to dim a little bit, to disappear. So you can go to text animation and select that the first level paragraphs are animated, or the second level if you want those to be animated, but I will stay with the first paragraphs. Then I go to effects and select after animation and select a color. By default in PowerPoint, it's selected to don't dim, but if you dim it, for example to a gray color like this, animate text all at once is okay. Now I select OK. Now watch what happens when you preview the slide. I press Shift and F5 to preview the slide. I start explaining you the first bullet point, and as I click my mouse the second time to go to the second point, the first point is dimming out. So you remember that I was talking about something here, but it's less visible so it doesn't bother you as you are watching the presentation and you are completely focused on the next point. As you click once again, it's again dimmed and the last point appears. So remember, if you do presentations like that with bullet points, with simple bullet points, double click on the animation, go to effect and select after animation to be dimmed. You can also hide them completely or hide them on the next mouse click. Let me select the second level paragraph. This would change the animation so each time you click the mouse, something is appearing and disappearing. This is if you want to explain those secondary points more in detail, but if you want them to be together, you only animate the first level paragraph. This is how you can edit paragraphs and work with bullet points in PowerPoint. You can customize them with colors, with size, or even with custom images. And this all within one text box. Thank you very much for your attention in this lesson. I hope you learned something about presenting with bullet points.